Gather round, internet, and I will tell you a terrifying tale of scares, nightmares, dark dealings, rainstorms, slug people. Ooh! It's the Gateway book number 3, The Midnight Mercenary, by me and David and Rowan, aka Cerberus Jones, and I'm going to read some to you now. Quickly, Amelia, said Mum, let Tom in. Charlie, who was quick to recognise a good distraction when he saw one, had leapt off the sofa and was already halfway to the doors. Tom, although under the shelter of the hotel's veranda, was standing in the middle of his own personal puddle. Water dribbled off his trousers. Come in, Tom, said Mum. Dry off before you catch your death. Tom twitched at the words, although Amelia knew they only meant that Tom shouldn't risk a cold. No time, he said gruffly. He went to keep talking, but stopped and frowned at Charlie beside him, and then at Amelia. Can you get the power back on, Mum asked. Scott's usually faster than this with a fuse box. Tom rubbed his nose with the back of his hand and didn't answer. Well, Mum prompted. Tom glanced at Charlie and Amelia again, then raised a helpless eyebrow at Mum. I'm sorry, she said briskly. You came here to tell us something, not to be pestered with questions. What was it you needed? We've got guests coming, said Tom. A shiver sparked up Amelia's back. If Tom knew about the guests first, that meant they were aliens, travelling through a wormhole in space and arriving at the gateway in the caves under his cottage. Mum sighed. How many of them? And how long until they arrive, Mary added. An hour or two, said Tom apologetically. What? Said Mum. And there'll be about 20 of them. How many? Said Mary. Mostly children, said Tom. Sorry. In a blackout? Mum almost yelled. Trekking through the rain and mud in the middle of the night, and we can't offer them so much as a cup of hot tea, let alone a bath. Yeah. Tom looked awkward. It was a bit of a last-minute thing. How can moving 20-odd children across space be a last-minute thing? Mum really was yelling now. Why on earth would anyone leave plans like that until the last... She caught herself, realised something, and shook off her temper. What do you need us to do? I'm afraid I don't know, he said warily. There were no other details given. Right, said Mum. Very good. Thank you, Tom. As Tom turned to go, Amelia saw Charlie slip out into the lobby. Not so fast, Charlie, thought Amelia. He might be able to sneak off on the two mums, and maybe even outrun James for a while, but Amelia wouldn't let him go so easily. The lobby was eerie in the half-dark. The candelabra that James had left lit up the reception desk well enough, but that only made the rest of the room feel darker, more echoing. Amelia looked instinctively towards the twin staircases, as though she might be able to see Charlie down there, if only she looked hard enough. Her eyes ached with the darkness. She never realised how tiring it was to not see. Behind her, she heard the main doors to the hotel creak open, and the sound of the rain grew louder. Standing on the threshold, not sure whether to go out into the night, she heard a voice call, Tom! Tom! Amelia gasped. It was her mother. Yes, Tom called back, and Amelia heard his boots coming closer along the wooden veranda. What is it, Sky? Just one thing, Mum said. You didn't want to say anything about the power. Why? What's wrong? Tom sucked in his breath, and for a long pause there was nothing but the sound of the rain. Amelia strained her ears as much as her eyes. Sky, I don't know how to say this, but... What? I couldn't say anything in front of the kids. What? It's everything we feared, Sky. This time Mum's voice was shaky. What? Keep the kids inside. Don't let them out of your sight for a moment. Why? Mum sounded like a kid herself. Another wormhole connected this evening, a couple of hours ago, and someone came through. It was... Tom faltered. Well, I've just received confirmation. It was Criskin. Amelia felt her heart lurch. She knew Criskin only by name, but every time she'd heard that name spoken, it was in anxious, fearful tones. Whenever anyone talked about danger coming through the gateway, whenever they talked about absolute, terrifying, worst-case scenarios, Criskin was the name that came up. He's here, Mum said. And he's cut the power, said Tom. Whatever he's here for, he wants us in the dark. Okay, said Mum, trying to rally. Okay, it's Criskin, and he's cut the power. Okay, we can deal with that. I'm sorry, Sky, but that's not all. Amelia bit her lip so hard that she tasted blood. Even more frightening than the thought of Criskin out there messing with them was the sorrow in Tom's voice. And then he said it. I'm sorry, Sky. He's already got Scott. That is just a little bit of the Gateway number 3, The Midnight Mercenary. You can pick this up in all good bookstores across Australia and New Zealand, or else there's a bunch of links that I put in the description where you can go to pick up a copy online. It's also available in ebook formats and all of that. Until next time, goodbye.